Welcome, episode 17 of the Dirt Journal. It's early springtime, and we are here at the Crescent Farms. Leaves are still off the trees. We're going to be trimming up some of the last dead from after the fires and starting to work on the garden area. So this is the back ditch. It's like a bioswale, just basically a place where the water can soak into the ground. And it's also kind of a neutral zone between the wild and the garden itself. The garden we didn't do anything in this winter. Getting the little trails and pathways up to our store. We have to go up here, finish clearing out all the dead trees. But this is where we started today. Clearing out the back ditch, got to finish the end of it. You can see how much higher the garden actually sits so that the water has to move through here. And the bark is holding down most of the weeds for me. What you don't see, or what you do see in green here, is actually California poppies sprouting up like mad. So we'll let them take it over, and when a desirable has eaten up the ground, you don't have to worry about weeds anymore. So it's okay to let them go. Eventually, hopefully, maybe the whole thing here will be poppies. And this is where the ditch we're working on in one of the last videos comes through. And that's what we're doing today. I'll show you a shot of the garden. We have the new dirt coming in. It's a dose from Quackenbush here. It's food grade organic that we get. They have it all broken down into its nutrients and individual stuff. And then we just have plastic down. We roll these sheets up and reuse them. And it's just to hold off the light. And since we have ground cover, weed block cloth underneath all of the bark, and the plastic down, nothing happens here, so we can just turn it off beside some of the vegetables that we're letting hold over. And then if you let your vegetables stand at the turn of spring the next year, many of them will actually flower out. So you can see bok choy going there, and all of these will get tall and put their flowers out, and you can end up with paper sacks full of your favorite vegetable seeds hybridized to your footprint. The berries aren't really doing much. They're just about to start their veg state. We had the river that comes up through here, and it silts through the lower orchard every year, but about a 1/4 inch. The little stones that circle the trees still stay sticking up, and we just put the thinnest layer of bark. But we're pruning them, and we're just finishing pruning, and they are all in their full bloom here, or beginning to bud out into their full bloom. These were the trees that you saw as babies getting planted in the other videos. Our peaches, and they're just loaded up this year. Each one of these little pink balls that you see on here is a flower that then turns into a fruit. On most varieties of these type of western used trees, the flowers come out first and then the leaves. You can see the leaves a little ways behind it on each one. So they're getting big quick. This is a brand new little install here into our last turret. Strawberries eating the wall still. Oh, here's the first bees out. I don't know if you caught that. They're moving fast. They're in a hurry, so I don't know if they want to be filmed today. But here's the blooms. Bar tree there. We got it going on. They're doing good. You see the rocks I was talking about still sticking out, so we get this little layer of fine sediment, and then the bark that we had down underneath that, and it's just good stuff. It's kind of like Nile Delta, because we just laid down logs and stuff outside the fence here and built a barrier from this whole entire creek, which is now piling up sand and starting to protect us. So anyhow, grapes along the fence line, trees all going off, and we'll show you what else we're working on here in a little while. So where we're going to put in a berry row today, we bought the berries. We're going to use logs. This is all bark that we put down here at the well house. Kids sporting the tree. All of this used to be obnoxious weeds that is in front of the house. And now it's just stabilized bark. We have spread seeds, and the things that are green that you see coming up are clary sages on down the line, and bulbs and such. But these are going to be the berry rows. So there's the before. There's a little bit of a downhill here to the next level. the creek. We're going to cut the dead out of these trees from the fire, and that's what this will be here. So we'll be going down the road today, dropping some of these dead trees and just laying them on their side as riprap here. You can see the large ones that are falling over in the creek here and causing potential log jams, so we'll just try and drop ours on our side and lay them down here. So we'll use some of their bodies for the edges of the berry rows, so it's a joint effort, and there we go. Here's the road out to the far spring. We have a 4-inch line that comes all the way down this from where the spring is, and got trees from the fire all dead here. Pretty rare cedars, it's a bummer, but they're falling across the road. We gotta clear them out. We're gonna use these clean ones with no branches on them here, peel the bark, and they'll be the edges of the berry rows. Yeah, there's the shot back. It's pretty cleaned up. We've been working on it, keeping it clear, keeping it low. The upper mountain, and of course that's the house way down there. Got the creek following the whole thing. 50 acres we're trying to take care of here. Woo! So, just starting by getting the trees out of here. This is a transfer road that goes across in case there's an emergency to get out to the main road there. Remembering that we are way up from the house now, and keeping its little access ramp clear. You can see I'm going to salvage these as edges to keep the silt in and other spots, and then I'm just riff-raffing it real roughly. When we have more time we can cut it up and condense it down, but for now it's laid on angle on the edge and opens this up. You see the deal here, these are smaller branches. Brought it out to a point because we lost so much vegetation. This stuff has just been mass wasting down on all slopes. Things are rounding off. Let me show you across the road here, even with bulldozers and everything going on. The road crews are that inundated, and these guys work hard non-stop, early till late. Real dedicated crew out here, and still just the mountains are slipping down. So we got the same thing going on our side, but opened up the little pasture here, or lower cute meadow, kid meadow probably. The road up, the road along, and then just the riff-raffing of it. That'll just condense down, stuff will grow through it. It will be okay. We're not really going to try and burn the entire mountainsides clear here. You see how much that would be. So we're just going to use it. Here's the big old bodies from previous things that we've laid on their edge here. And yep. Got a lot of work today. Here's more shots of the retainment on the edge of this road because we have so much stuff coming down off slope and then across, so we're trying to flatten it out and stop this road, or this edge, from ever eroding. So it's just the best thing to do while laying down stuff, was to put it vertical. Here's spots where there is nothing on it. B. And you can see water coming down this hillside, channeling, eating away this stuff. Just extremely, spilling out onto our road here. So every little tree that I'm dropping, I'm trying to lay on its side and use them for that up there, all the way across. This is a big guy that we dropped last year, another one of these cedars, and it's there's its body there, stretching off into the creek. Everyone that we're dropping, we're using the riprap. Here's a before of what this area looks like, and then right as I've gotten to here, I've cleared it out. Here's the riprap, the lower road. There's like a nice lower little meadow in here, leaving this big guy that we dropped and then pulled its tip around. We'll walk down there. Growing in nice here through its base. Didn't throw it, but it dropped right where that erosion's coming out and coming down the hill here. It fans out a little bit, spills over. You can see we're just losing the edge of the road, so every little bit helps. The plants are coming back. These are all little wild mini sunflowers. anyhow, there's this monster. You got pools of water in here, which, yeah, mosquitoes, but at the same time, everything's mosquito land out here, so just thought that was pretty cool. Maybe there'll be bird baths later on, or who knows, we got the whole creek. Anyhow, fun. Here's the shot. I like that. Ooh, a little butterfly. It's the season. So, this was last year. I left her here. How big it is there in the window in my truck. Beautiful cedar. You can see the grain in it. Comes down. Tip broke when she fell, so I twisted her back around. So now as the water is coming down, we're in the channel here. As it comes down, it hits this. It already did a lot. It created a log jam, which I just piled more stuff on, and comes around and deflects. You can see the little low spot here. So everything behind it is in an eddy. And what's happening is where the silt is piled up behind the eddy, we're getting its little babies back, and that's what these are. Little baby cedars coming out. Get you a close up here. Really pretty. So there's one, another one, and another one. And if you look around, boom, and boom, and there's quite a few out here. So really happy about that. There's one there. So they can come back. That's what all these big dead guys were, and they made it nice and shady here. We got a bay that's coming back. They'll come back way faster than they originally grew because they have their root masses still alive. So that root mass will be able to pump up a fuller sized tree than the original roots when they were growing equal to the top. If that makes any sense. So anyhow, it's a good thing to do with a big massive log if you can. You can leave them in certain spots. Use them on the slopes, use them in the riffraff, you know, fight erosion with the plant matter even after it's dead. So, little tip from the Dirt Journal. Nice little meadow. More baby cedars here. And then all the wild sunflowers. So, another shot of the meadow now. It's cleared out the debris to the right and some to the left. And off into there. Here's the poles, the long sides that we use for our berry row. There's one there with the bark already peeling and hanging off. All of its fine branches burnt. And even the crown snapped off this one, so there's probably 2 whole sides there. And then next to it there's a nice beautiful white one. We'll have to take off a couple branches. Another one there. So that's the idea. Those will be the borders to raise this out of the bark, put the dark dirt into, plant the berries, pick the berry batch, clear the road after the spring, and off we go. So I just wanted to show you this. Actually parked here with some of the logs I was showing you in one of the last shots. And I just wanted to show you that how well these silt catches work here. Move this log. I want you to get a good view underneath here. Okay, how much, that's what I'm actually sitting on, is the flat part here. And how much it's caught. So here's my hand. I don't know if I can show this well enough. I have to move this whole log out of the way a little bit. Poor truck. And you can see the notch that it sits in is literally, I set it on the ground. And that's how much stuff is built up behind it. So at least 3 inches it's come off the mountain and slid down here and hit the back of it and formed that ledge. So we will definitely roll it back into its spot. This is a 14-foot log, by the way. Put it back into its spot. You can see how tight it fits. the dirt just ledged up against it, whoomp, and that creates a flat spot. So water moving flat not only just deposits more and creates more flatness, but slows itself down, as opposed to spots where it didn't quite make that seal. And you can see the erosion that we've had here. Okay, so that's a big deal when you're dealing with a road and you're dealing with mountainsides that look like that are coming down on you. So to be able to catch that much flatness there, anywhere where it is sticking, you can see I threw rocks in here. Plants are growing, so that might catch some. But here on the end, this entire little flat thing here has been caught and backed up and backed up and backed up by the silt coming across, just because this one little tip was laying here. And you can see, once again, there's that lip down and how much it actually caught that was moving across, and where it didn't, I mean, that's not good stuff. So that will just continue to form a creek until it's a canyon, and someday the Grand Canyon in 1,000 years. No joke, that's how we got from up there to down here, further down now. So I do not want this to be a tributary. I don't want any of the tributaries to come across this road. We have pipes and culverts anywhere where it's too steep. And so I just wanted to show you that. They work. I'm going to take a lunch here, but that's what the area is looking like now. A little bit more defined, and we're leaving the big ones. We're going to have my dad probably come up and work with us and harvest those out for use as actual building timbers, because they're so big and so massive and one of a kind. So that's where we were. Yep, lunchtime. We'll see you a little bit later. As long as we don't have some horrible accident, we'll walk our truck off the road here. Should be fine. These are a bunch of the poles that I've harvested, and then back to where we will make the berry rows. Here we are, second load of logs here. Some of the bark just peels right off, but they're beautiful creatures. Bringing them in, laying out the new berry rows. So these are starting with raspberry and moving into thornless blackberry. The second one's etched out here, and we got about 2 foot of chips down, which will be awesome because berries are acid freaks. Just remember that. They're all like just berries, or like Jerry Garcia, okay? Berries, Jerry, they're acid freaks. They like their pH to just be very acidic, so chips generally balance out anyways, because they're made out of like 30 different trees, especially out here. So they end up just being a balanced mix. You can test them, and they're just a general. But anyhow, any richness that there is or overabundance in the soil, the berries will just eat up. It'll hold crazy moisture. This has been sitting out here. Let me show you what looks dry on the top when you put down wood chips. Instantly wet underneath. You can see how much it's breaking down. And then we put these down really deep here. Starting to get into white myceliums. Try not to rub them off too much so I film them. And then even farther down, there's the mycelium I was referring to. So it's all over down here at a certain point. And further still. Okay, so there's the soil. There's native soil, which used to be dry clay and totally hard packed with some scant weeds growing on it. And now it looks like that. So that's what's under there anyhow. And that's what's over this whole deal. So logs, quick install, and we haul the dirt over here. Don't mind the gypsy fort. That's what kids do in the yard. It's a good thing. and then we got berries growing for summer. It is getting to be the end of the day here, and we're moving dirt down to the new raspberry and blackberry beds. And so here's one framed in with logs. Those are the raspberries that are ready to go in. Here is bed. We just got all the thornless blackberries in and the mulching. Hello, boo. There's before, there's after. And yep, pretty cute. Down here, of course we have the creek here, so when things get their roots down, they get the deeper. Here's a black mulberry that I put in moments ago also, so they'll be getting huge and eating the corner here, and then along the fence line running another quick and simple bed. These are all flowers, wild seeds that we scattered. These are bachelor buttons all coming up, so this will be almost as tall as the fence. On the other side, of course, we've already done a bed that runs down it lined with rocks. So here's another shot of these using the open space out by the creek. Ta-da! They like when I dig around here. Well, that's it for the day. That's all I can do. One man show right now for today. There was where the dirt pile was. There is the dirt pile. There are the berry beds. Berries are installed. Raspberries. Blackberry family. There they be. And the creek flows by. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. This is the Dirt Journal.